Do you want to master this arena right here? Well, let me give you the 5 steps to being the best PvPer you can possibly be. What do you guys think? Is that pretty good? Pretty good? Not bad, hey guys, right? Welcome in. We are going to cover today the beginner's guide to PvP. We're going to cover some basics just to help you guys get an understanding and a feel for PvP, so when you do start to PvP, you're going to be a little bit ahead of the curve. All right, so a couple things we need to note. Hotkeys. If you guys don't have set hotkeys for every button on your bar, or mostly every button in your bar, I would suggest coming to your settings here and just going through, and you guys can see here, I've got slots 6 through 15 bound to my number pad. That's how I use it. So if you look over here, you can see the corresponding, just follow my cursor over here, the corresponding numbers with the hotbar slot. So make sure you guys keep the hotkeys the same, all right? As far as your abilities, your bandages, your spell locations, also keep that the same too. So across all my characters, I have the same spells and the same spots. That is key to being consistent when you're switching between characters. That way, if you have multiple characters that are PvP ready, you don't have to think about, oh, this character, oh, it's actually on 6 instead of 7. You don't have to think like that, okay? So that's going to help you. All right, another thing that's going to be really handy that a lot of new players really don't try to dive into are potions, greater heals, and cures. The cooldown is an extremely long time, but as some very experienced PvPers have told me and swear by, a well-timed potion, whether it be a cure or a greater heal, can be the deciding factor of whether you win the fight, okay? Now, a lot of times people get so obsessed with, man, I've got to get his health bar down, or I got to get her health bar down. I got to get it down faster than I get mine down. Obviously, that is the name of the game. But the biggest thing is pure damage is not always the best way to kill your opponent. If you focus on your poisons, your bleeds, and your stuns, a lot of times you can force a player into an uncomfortable situation, and it can kind of help tip the iceberg into your favor so that you'll win the fight. So poisons, for example, can prevent players from utilizing a full heal. When poisoned, a player will need to either cure with a healing salve, a cure potion, or casting the spell cure. And if they attempt to heal through the poison, the bandage's effectiveness will be reduced by 50%. Okay. Meanwhile, bleeds, they can be used for damage over time. However, the biggest thing about bleeds are each tick of a bleed will actually interrupt a spell cast. So that's really why bleeds are important. And then lastly, along those lines, the interrupts are important, and it's sometimes great to have builds that are focused around those pure stuns in order to lock down your opponents. There are several variations of these stun builds because there are several variations of stuns. I would just have you explore the ability section in the Aria Hub and ariahub.org to make sure that you kind of see what you can make a build around regarding stuns. Okay, so real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to talk in game about a very simple PvP build, and I do mean simple. This is a 6x build. A lot of hybrids are out there these days, but a 6x build is going to be the best way just to kind of get your feet wet. So what I would suggest doing is taking, all of these are going to be 100 skill. You're going to have channeling for your evocation and your manifestation, increase in ability, or increase in spell power. Your evocation, which is going to be your offensive spells. Your healing, obviously, it's going to heal you with bandages. Manifestation is going to be your defensive abilities. Piercing, you can literally take any weapon skill. It doesn't have to be piercing. You can take archery, slashing, bashing, piercing, whatever you want. Lancing, you can take any of those, just depending on if you want to use stuns or something like that. Again, check the ariahub.org ability section to kind of build your character that way. And then last but not least, vigor. It's going to increase your damage with that combat skill. It's also going to increase the effectiveness of heals. So that's pretty much the basics of PvP, and what I would kind of assume are going to be some of the hurdles that you're going to have to face when getting into PvP. So again, want to know your comments, want to know your concerns, and again, some of the things that we've mentioned in the video we'll put down below. We'll put all these notes down below in the comments section. So if you guys need any of that information, it will be available for you. All right, we'll catch you guys next time, and thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate it.